Hello, and welcome to Purina's Livin the Farm Life. We know the passion you have for caring for your animals and for the life you live on your property. Here at Purina, we do the same thing every day at our 1,263-acre Animal Nutrition Center in Gray Summit, Missouri. This is where we develop and research the latest in nutrition and have since 1926. So from our farm to yours, let's live the farm life together.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Purina's Livin the Farm Life. We are here again at the Purina Animal Nutrition Center in Gray Summit, Missouri, in an area of the farm that we call companion animal. So here in companion animal we have family flock, we have deer, we have sheep and goats, and we have our rabbitry. I'm here with Dr. Patrick Biggs, who heads our research here in the companion animal area, and we're going to talk today about rabbits. So Dr. Biggs, tell us a little bit about the rabbitry and kind of what we're doing here.
All right, so our rabbitry, we have rabbits, obviously, so we can do some research. So when we're kind of coming up with new ideas for what to go in the feed, we can test it in the rabbits. We have around 30 breeding does that we try and get about 8 kits out of them, or 8 sets of kits out of those rabbits every year. An average of 8 kits per breeding session. So those 30 rabbits produce about 2,000 baby rabbits every year. So we have lots of rabbits that come through here that we are always testing what we can do to the feed to kind of ultimately make that feed better for the rabbits, and so that we can get the performance out of them that we want.
Yeah. So we focus more on breeding and the doe, and the kits are
it's a combination of it, because especially if you're more on the commercial side, obviously producing rabbits so that you can get more rabbits to get meat out of those is important, and that's kind of what our professional product is for. It's really designed to get to be able to breed those does 8 times a year and get roughly 8 kits per breeding session per rabbit. So it's a lot of rabbits. So we got to make sure that nutrition is at that high plane of nutrition for those rabbits so that they can keep doing that.
Okay, so we are a nutrition company, so when we're talking about rabbits, I guess of all breeds, right, what's kind of the key thing that folks should look for as far as what to feed, how to feed, and what does a rabbit need?
Well, I guess the most important thing when it comes to nutrition for rabbits is really fiber, because rabbits really, they're designed to always have something in their digestive tract, and that's what the fiber is there to do. So we have lots of fiber in there. The things that you're going to look for in the feed, the vitamins, the minerals, all of those things are in there. You're going to find that in all of the feeds. There are some subtle differences in protein and fiber in all of our products. The Rabbit Professional is going to have our highest amount of protein and our lowest amount of fiber, because we want those rabbits to get to those young rabbits to get to meat stage, so where they can be marketed at around 8 weeks of age. So we've got lots of protein in there so they can grow that. Not a lot of fiber, because we want those rabbits to put on meat, not necessarily to stay around for a long period of time. Whereas our hobby rabbits, we have show rabbits. Those are a little less protein, a little more fiber. Just because they're challenged a little more with stress. So fiber really helps keep those rabbits kind of dealing with the stress that they might encounter in life. The show product, because people are showing their rabbits, they want those rabbits to look nice and shiny. The health of the coat is really important to those rabbits. We add extra oil to the feed, so that helps give those rabbits that extra shine when it comes to showtime.
Yeah. So now our product is what we would call a complete diet.
Right.
So it has everything that the rabbit needs. So we watch TV and Bugs Bunny with the carrots and all of that. Is there anything else that you should be adding to the diet?
No, the feed is complete feed. So it provides all the nutrition, all the protein, all the fiber, all the vitamins, the minerals. Everything your rabbit needs is right in that feed. So, you don't need to supplement your rabbits with anything else. And you mentioned Bugs Bunny. Now, I realize everybody loves a cartoon rabbit, but cartoon rabbits love carrots. Carrots not necessarily the best thing to give to your rabbits. If you are going to provide things to your rabbits, stick to the green parts of the vegetables. That's really the best part for those rabbits.
So when it comes to feeding rabbits, so we have a complete diet. How do you determine how much to feed? I know some people just like, well, let's give them a scoop or fill up the feeder, but there's a formula to it?
Well, I mean, it's roughly about an ounce of feed a day per pound of rabbit that you have.
So you need to weigh your rabbits, you need to know what the rabbit weighs, and then you need to, I guess, weigh your feed.
Weigh the feed. Yes, a lot of people will get comfortable. They'll find a scoop and they say, well, I give my rabbits a scoop of feed. Unfortunately, measuring by volume isn't always great because the volume of the feed sometimes changes. So what was once 5 ounces in that 1 cup is now maybe 3 ounces, or maybe it's 8 ounces. So feeding by weight is always the best approach for your rabbits, because you do get some fluctuations in that.
Right. And that takes into account their growth. As they grow in weight, they need more nutrition, and so.
So typically, it's about an ounce of feed per pound of rabbit. However, you're going to find as your rabbits age, they tend to get over-conditioned, which is a nice way of saying they're a little chunky. And so then, that's why we want to make sure that we're monitoring how much they're eating per day, so that they don't get overweight, because once they get overweight, it's hard to pull them back and get them back into the body condition that they should be.
So if you got multiple rabbits in a cage or a pen, I guess, do you weigh each one of them, or do you come up with an average weight?
Yeah, if you've got a lot of rabbits in there, you kind of get an idea of what everybody's going to eat, kind of total, and put that in there for the day. And
then when it comes to health, my wife likes rabbits, and we've had rabbits for years. I know that sometimes with a rabbit, it's really hard to tell if there's an issue going on. So what do you look for from a health standpoint to say my rabbit's not doing well?
And rabbits are prey animals, so they tend to mask any disease, illness. By the time you can tell that the rabbit is sick, she's probably been sick for a while, and she's to a point where she can no longer mask her illness. So things like paying attention to your rabbit, knowing that what she does on a regular basis, what her kind of routine is. You're always looking for just kind of a sick rabbit or sick animal in general. You can kind of tell because it's a little lazier, it's a little lethargic, doesn't look so great, the eyes aren't as shiny, there might be some discharge around the eyes and the nose. Those are all things to look for, and if the rabbit isn't eating feed. You can look for things, so we've got products in the feed to kind of help with that. We've got prebiotics and probiotics in the feed to kind of help with the rabbits and keep that digestive system as healthy as possible to keep those rabbits going.
Can you tell anything by the stool, by looking at the...
as the stool, it'll either get runny, or you won't see a lot of stool in there. So if they're not going to the bathroom, then they're not eating, and if they're not eating, chances are they're probably not very healthy.
So in a commercial rabbitry, we're obviously trying to produce rabbits, because that's your income is more rabbits. What's kind of the average number of kits, or what they call it, kindling, when they had their babies? So what's the gestation cycle, and what should you expect?
We're having 8 kindlings per doe per year, and then we're averaging around 8 kits per breeding session.
Well, let's switch and talk just a little bit about show rabbits. We kind of talked about commercial rabbits. Is there much difference in how we raise them, how we feed them? You talked about, obviously, a shiny coat is important because that's what judges are looking for. Nutrition-wise?
Well, for show rabbits, obviously those rabbits are dealing with a lot more stress because we have to transport them to a show. They have to live in a strange environment for several days at a time, surrounded by other rabbits that they're not familiar with, and all of the sights and sounds that go along with that. So there's a lot of stress that's put on those show rabbits. So our show product has a higher amount of fiber in there, and that's the fibers there to kind of help keep that digestive tract full of stuff. So if the rabbit does get stressed, she's still got something in there to kind of deal with that problem. We've got prebiotics in there, probiotics in there as well to kind of help with that issue. And then we've got more oil in that feed to kind of help with the shiny coat. So that's really what we're trying to do to kind of keep those rabbits going. We're in that stressful show environment.
So when it comes to feeding rabbits, we have several products from a commercial side, and then from just a just a basic diet, and then show diets.
So if you're not really sure what feed is best for your rabbit. The Rabbit Complete is our #1 seller. That's going to kind of deal with most cases of rabbits. That's going to be kind of your go-to feed if you're not sure. Certainly if you're showing rabbits, the show product is the feed to go with. If you're raising them specifically for meat, Professional is the product to go to. And then our final product is a product called Fiber 3. So it has the most amount of fiber in there for those rabbits. And you can feed that to anything. We find the people that are feeding it typically are the wool breed rabbits. They feed that. It's a lower protein, higher fiber for those rabbits, and then oftentimes like the tiny breeds, like your Netherland dwarves, and that the higher fiber helps to keep those 2-pound rabbits at 2 pounds.
Yeah. Well, owning and feeding rabbits can be a lot of fun. It's a great family activity, and with all animals, nutrition is key. Right. And getting them on the right diet and feeding them the right amount is critical. And we all have a tendency to want to, the old Bugs Bunny, add snacks and do stuff like that. But if you just have a solid nutrition program, that's going to carry you through and get you where you need to be.
Right. And two, I mean, we certainly the feed is complete for those rabbits. People are going to probably provide snacks and treats to your rabbits. Just do it slowly and small amounts, because as you add new feed ingredients to your rabbits, that can upset their digestive tract. And if they do have kind of a bad response to something, you want to be able to know what that is. So if you feed them carrots and green beans and lettuce all at the same time, maybe one of those doesn't sit well with the rabbit and you don't know which one it is. So
we've been there and done it. My wife loves to treat our rabbits, so we've had some of those issues. So hey, listen, if you want to find out more about feeding rabbits, commercial rabbits, show rabbits, whatever it is, go to PurinaMills.com and check out information online, or be sure and stop by your local Purina dealer. They are the experts. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time on Livin the Farm Life.
Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next month on another episode of Purina's Livin the Farm Life.